Well, it's still Stroke Awareness Month, and a couple of weeks ago, we brought you a Medical Monday segment about an acronym Mercy experts use to teach others about stroke care and prevention. Well, what about teaching the Be Fast method to kids? A Spencer High School student has been charged with threat of terrorism, a Class D felony, after posting threats on Snapchat. Sioux City police are looking for a gunman who shot and wounded a man late Saturday night in a Midtown neighborhood. President Trump speaks to the nation Monday and announces a troop surge in Afghanistan. At the nation's capital, tens of thousands gather to honor officers who lost their lives, including K-9 officers. They're being remembered for their service and sacrifice. Lawmakers in Florida are feeling the pressure to consider new gun laws in the wake of last week's high school shooting. Things are going to heat up around Siouxland with Thursday's temps reaching the triple digits. However, with entering the warmer months, this will not be the last possibility for record-breaking heat. I was among a group of VIPs who got to try things out Tuesday afternoon, a day in advance of the big event coming up today. At least 75 people are expected to go over the edge between 9 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. on 4th Street. All the proceeds from this event are going to help big brothers and big sisters.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the KCAU family, we'd like to welcome you all to the 2018 Abu Bakr Shrine Circus.
We served as last night's honorary ring masters, riding into the ring on the back of an elephant. That's Cindy. Thanks for the ride.
Cindy the elephant.
Yeah.
The circus has 9 more performances. They run through Sunday afternoon, so make sure to get your tickets at the Tyson Event Center if you missed out last night, or maybe you want to go a second time.
Always celebrated on February 5th, National Weather Person's Day, which is also known as National Weatherman's Day.
Wow, it's my day. I didn't even know.
I know, right?
Didn't even know.
So honoring all individuals in the field of meteorology. Many of you may not know, but today is National Opposite Day, so here I am way up here and Scott's way down there.
Right, I'm a little bit shorter now.
But I think it's time for you to hand over your clicker, and I will give you my iPad, and I will take a little spin around the weather graphics. There we go.
Sounds good.
Let's start off with today. We are at 35 for today, but the biggest thing is that fog out there. The fog is crazy. I came in on Gordon Drive, and it is pretty thick out there. Well, are you going to show me some tricks? Let's see.
It was a little better yesterday, but now it's cold today.
I know, right?
But, you know,
it'll be indours, though, so there you go.
Ready for do some stuff, and I'm going to teach you how to do a little spin. So, and Mark, that, and there you go. You got it.
Nice. Woo! Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the event. That's April 5th, so be sure to go and check them out at the Tyson. We'll all be there. We're excited to see it, and best of luck to you, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And we're dead.
Well, so much for that.
That would have gotten us killed in this movie, because silence is golden, and oh my goodness. So KCAU 9 Theater, we're reviewing A Quiet Place this week. I'm going to go ahead and put my shoes down. This was a fantastic movie. Just so many things to talk about, but the big thing is the silence. That factor is really what kind of drives this movie.
Right. I mean, when you consider the scenario, it's basically a family trying to survive an alien apocalypse. You've seen a lot of movies like that before, right? But this one focuses on the sound and the lack thereof.
And for me, the monsters, you know, I was a little concerned about them. I'm like, well, let's see what they are. Honestly, they're not even that scary, because to me, I think the silence factor is scarier.
It's just the threat.
It's the threat, yeah. And this really is a suspense thriller.
$50.
And when is that?
We're actually taking them out there. We're starting to take them out this afternoon, and we're going to be there all through July.
Okay.
In the cat condo out there.
Yes, you like that.
So stop out. We have got lots and lots of animals right now. We're up to about 70 odd cats and 45 or so dogs. There will be a big update on the dogs on the website this afternoon. And you can't
he just wants to play.
And you can't beat live TV.
This is not your normal student experience.
It's not. That's right, Tim and Jenna. It was so nice getting getting a chance to talk to these girls. They have powered through college courses from WIT to get these degrees while they're in high school. So not only do these 4 Siouxland Christian seniors now have degrees and graduation days in common, but all 4 young ladies are humble and grateful for the journey that led them to where they are today. That's right, Tim. Right behind me is where one of the new restaurants will be located. It's going to be called Table 32. And while there's no word yet on when the sit-down restaurant here on Virginia Street will open, the other project in the works is a pizzeria on Hamilton Boulevard that's set to open in the spring. Ali also told me about one of his most meaningful experiences, which actually happened after the military. That's coming up at 6. But before we go, we wanted to give you guys a glimpse at the path, or at least part of the path for the walkers and runners. As you can see, this side is lined up with flags and signs, but over here on this side, walkers and runners will be able to see these boots with signs for Siouxland soldiers who have given the ultimate sacrifice. So that's a little something that they'll be able to enjoy during their walk run as that starts at 6. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio. Reporting live in South Sioux City, Christina Grijalva, ABC 9 News. Lucas, we are on the side of Highway 20 where the accident took place. I'm actually standing in the ditch where the car ended up. Like we said before, this is a one-vehicle crash. The driver of the car swerved off the side of the road to avoid hitting a deer and fell about 10 to 15 feet into the ditch. Jenna, you see them driving around the streets of downtown probably as much as you see police officers. Meter attendants have about 5 to 8 hour shifts per day, and in heat like this, driving around in a scooter with no AC can get a little toasty. This event raises money for orphans in South Africa as well as other organizations here in Iowa. One of the things that all the runners get at the end are these handmade bracelets from the orphans in South Africa. So that's something they said they're very excited and looking forward to getting. Tim and Jenna, Elisa and I have been having a blast out here for our very first Tulip Festival here in Orange City. There's been all kinds of events going on today. One of the most popular is the parade. But Elisa, I have to tell you that what I saw happen before the parade was quite a sight, and it seemed like people were enjoying the street scrubbing event a little too much.
KCAU 9's Christina Grijalva is live at the Tyson Event Center with all things circus related. How's it going tonight, Christina?
It's great, Tim. Right now, we have just started some pony rides. Kids are getting a ride before the circus. And then over here, we're going to show you sort of kind of one of the main attractions. We got all of the elephants. And actually, Scott and I will be riding on one of these. And we will ring in the circus for this year. But I wanted to bring in Larry Jansen. And Larry, you are the Potentate. All right. So tell us a little bit about what people can expect the second that whistle starts and the show begins. It was a long second day of jury selection here at the Emmett County Courthouse. Lee Christensen sat right here at this table in front of a 34-member panel. That was whittled down from the 91 members yesterday. They were each questioned by the state attorney as well as Christensen's defense attorney to make sure that they could remain impartial members on this jury. Tim and Jenna, there's certainly a lot of noise right here on the corner of 7th and Douglas, but those participating in the historical event behind me say that it acts as a good metaphor, having something positive to focus on to drown out all the noise. Most don't know that this film was shot in northwest Iowa using one of the state's most iconic landscapes, the cornfield. There are over 40 kinds of pumpkins at Pumpkinland, and the most popular, the jack-o'-lantern. It was in this parking lot that Christensen claimed to have car trouble, and Bortbit agreed to give him a ride when he asked. Both took off in Bortbit's car, but Thomas never returned from dinner break. I'm Christina Grijalva. Join me as we explore companies where Made in Siouxland means pride and innovation, and the people and the products impact those all over the world. We'll show you what it takes to be made in Siouxland. During the wintertime, this place offers ice skating, an outdoor fire pit, a day lodge, and a concession stand, and also tubing.
That's right. Christina and I get to be among the first to go down the hill in the ceremonial first ride. Let's go check it out. What do you think?
Let's go. Wish us luck. Scott and I, we're getting ready to go tubing. Let's take a look at it. What do we have? What's the damage? Oh my gosh, can you do that? Look at how she's doing it. Okay, oh. Hey, she's got the idea.
Ready? Yep. Good luck.
Some snow.
Should do that again. Good? Yeah, that's awesome.
Trucking is a big thing, so making this cab mate is very helpful for the truckers.
Link Manufacturing in Sioux Center develops and manufactures multiple suspension systems for 9 key customer markets. The process first starts at the computer, where a design is developed with Link's advanced engineering tools and software. Engineers must understand fit and function from a design perspective before even building a prototype. Then the building of the suspensions take place throughout the plant, like here on the CabMate assembly line. The line not only focuses on safety and creating an enjoyable environment, they also focus on production goals.
CabMate assembly line, we roughly make around 150 different CabMates that we produce, with trying to produce 500 a day.
Sickles said they do a lot of job training as they go along, so people willing to learn will get more than enough time to grow. Once suspensions are made, they go through simulation to physically test the durability. Director of Product Engineering Jeff Nibelink said they collect test requirements from customers and data.
That allows us to do our durability testing in a compressed amount of time, but also to make sure that the product we sell to our customers is going to be durable in the field.
Nibelink said their products are twofold, both safety and productivity products for customers. Since its early days, Link has been locally and family owned and currently has over 200 employees.
Our employees make all the difference to us. Our company is focused around our employees. We're a very family-oriented environment. They care about each other, they look out for each other, and that is the #1 reason they keep coming back.
There have been 16 building additions since the 80s, when one local driver started the company by constructing his own cab suspension. President Jim Holes said Link has a goal of becoming more global over the next few years. Even though scale is somewhat of a challenge for Link against other companies, Holes said their Midwest roots make all the difference.
There's a real commitment to this area by the company and by our owners. The culture and the values of Northwest Iowa employees is very good, and that's really the difference for us. We operational excellence, on-time delivery, high quality. When you call Link, you get a human being that answers the phone. We do our best to get you to the person that you need to talk to answer your questions and get you the help you need.
Paddlefish, one of the largest freshwater fish in North America and found right here in the Missouri and Big Sioux rivers.
They're pretty neat fish. They're a planktivore. They use their bill or their rostrum to try to direct the flow of small animals called zooplankton and some other small fish is what they feed on.
Now Siouxland prepares for its second season of paddle fishing after it had been canceled since 1986. I got the chance to head out on the Missouri River with members from the DNR and see how their tagging process works.
And this is an Iowa DNR paddlefish tag. It looks actually like a waterfall band, and it says right on it Iowa DNR, Ottawa, Iowa, and then it's got a phone number.
If you catch a paddlefish with one of these, call that number, report the date and location of capture, as well as the length of the fish. Be sure to measure from the front of the eye to the fork of the tail. All of this to help state fishery agencies better understand and manage populations.
We'll go back and address things and go over some changes that we might want to have for 2017.
Also, if you catch a paddlefish between 35 to 45 inches long, toss it back. The fish within this slot limit protects the breeding stock. Anglers can buy these personal tags online for their one fish that they're allowed to keep for the season. Christensen says that things are looking up for the season this year on the Missouri River.
It's kind of more of a hunt and peck, or look for the populations of fish that are there. And during the high water periods, those fish are going to be coming and going. right now we're actually a little higher than we were last year. So with the peak and the flow on the Missouri, it will actually have some higher water probably about the middle of March here.
In Decatur, Christina Grijalva, ABC 9 News.
Balance. Trying to find a balance and time to do everything. And, you know, I'm like any other person or college student.
The Buena Vista campus can be found in Storm Lake, a quiet community of about 10,000 people. BVU's website says their vision is not only to provide students with strong academic foundations, but also life preparation. The campus lives up to that vision for one student in particular.
This school, in this very short period of time, has given me an awful lot. And there are really amazing people here that work as faculty and the staff that support the students like you wouldn't believe.
The 42-year-old is both a student and full-time employee at the campus bookstore.
All right.
With 2 more years of classes left, Pollock plans to experience as much as possible.
I really think there's a lot of avenues there that haven't been touched yet.
But Pollock's transformation didn't begin in Storm Lake.
I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was never happy. Not really happy.
Growing up in central Illinois, Pollock knew he was different at a young age.
Somebody's playing a joke here. I'm in the wrong body. I act like a guy. I sound like a guy. I like doing guy things. It was horrible. And I was just uncomfortable my whole life.
Born Christine, Pollock struggled to understand his identity. It wasn't until many years later that other options were introduced to him.
I was probably 35 before I figured out what transgender was and that was an actual viable option.
Pollock decided to begin the long process of therapy in January of 2015 and enrolled at Buena Vista University 8 months later. He and his family had to decide, move to a larger city or stay in Storm Lake.
I was terrified. This is a small town. It can be progressive, but it's still rural Iowa, and I was concerned.
Pollock's wife was hired as a professor on campus. Ultimately, they decided to stay, and Pollock has worked to share his experience with others.
I had the choice to go somewhere else or stay here and use it the way I'm trying to as an educational opportunity, because I'm not the only person here. I am definitely not the only one.
It's a decision he doesn't regret, saying most everyone has been accepting during the last 15 months of hormone therapy. Resources have been a different story, though.
I have to go to Des Moines for medical care because there's no one that knows anything about trans individuals.
And the process comes with heavy emotional toll as well.
There's a reason the suicide rate's like 41% in the transgender community, you know? It's bad enough being confused and upset about the mismatch, and then you have to go through all of that to prove yourself to outside people that have nothing to do with your life.
Sharing his story has been tough on his family, but Pollock says this is especially important for towns like Storm Lake.
People need to see this. People need to understand that someone reachable, not someone in Hollywood, not someone all over Facebook, someone real, local, near you, and just an average person is very much like you.
On one quiet Sioux City street, there sits an average-looking home from the outside, but it's what's inside James Lowley's house that is pretty spectacular. You would never guess over 100 military vehicles sit in his converted garage. 100 model military vehicles, that is.
This may look like chaos, but it's not. There is a meaning to it.
James Lowley grew up in Sioux City all his life and began serving his country at 17 years old. When he returned home from a tour of duty in Vietnam, he began putting together his military model collection.
I just found out I enjoyed it, so I kept doing it. And I had to add other eras and wars.
With a little over 100 vehicles, Lowley has models from 5 different eras, including a time he is very proud of, with his National Guard battalion.
We came from what the Army thought was a Boy Scout troop into the number 1 unit.
Lowley was picked to be the speaker at Friday's 6th annual Remembrance Walk Run. Since he has been a guest speaker all throughout Iowa for multiple military-related events, he sticks to the same formula. 2 stories of heroes that have passed on, and his personal experience of first visiting his battalion brothers at the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C.
With my finger, I was tracing across the names, looking for that, First Lieutenant Corbin C. Tyndall of Lamar's. And when I touched his name, I burst into tears.
An experience he will never forget.
It was as if the soldiers are behind that wall, and when you touch their name, they reach out to touch your finger to say thank you for coming. Thank you for remembering.
In Sioux City, Christina Grijalva, ABC 9 News. Meet the Finnis Guards. Mitchell flies for Mercy Air Care, and his wife Sammy is a nurse at Mercy. They have 8-year-old Dylan and 4-year-old Alana. They've lived in Sioux City for a few years, and while you may not know them, you may have a connection to them in the form of something that lies all over Siouxland. Rocks, but not just any rocks, decorated rocks. An idea Sammy got from her sister, who is a part of a rock club.
I thought it would be really fun to do here because she was painting with our kids, and so she said, go ahead and start one, and we didn't think it would be I didn't think it was going to be as big as it has turned out to be.
I kind of scoffed at this first. Like I was kind of laughing at them for wanting to do this until I actually started painting my first rock, and then I actually kind of exploded doing it and have enjoyed it a lot.
The Finnis Guards started Sioux City Rocks, where you decorate rocks and leave them for people to find. It's something fun for the whole family to enjoy.
I'm going to hide this when it's Halloween.
You're going to hide it when it's Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a secret where you're going to hide it? Yeah. Be sure to keep an eye out for Alana's pumpkin rock. So what do you do if you happen to find one of these decorated rocks, just like we did outside of our KCAU 9 studios?
We would love for you to post a picture of the rock, and the goal is to rehide it. Or if you really like it, you can keep it and replace it with one of your own.
According to Beth Ann Hodgkins, who found one while camping out at Browns Lake, she says that it's not just something for kids.
It's very addicting. You know, you don't have to be an artist to do it. Just a simple word, you know, it just brightens people's day.
Your dad made that one?
Yeah.
Wow. That one looks like a painting.
It is a painting.
Whether it looks like a painting from a piece of famous art or just a simple word, like Beth Ann said, it all is to promote Kindness Rocks.
A lot of the negativity that's going out in the world that we've seen lately, it's kind of nice to see something that's positive. It just makes it nice to be able to see other people having joy or being encouraged by the words that are put out throughout the community.
Beth Ann, who works for the Sioux City Schools Transportation Department and is always on the go, she has a good theory about the rock movement.
A lot of times when people are walking, and if they're, you know, looking down like this, and they're not having a great day, because if you're having a great day, your head's up. But if you're looking down and you see a rock with an encouraging statement, you know, that gets you to lift your head.